So hi everybody, thank you for coming along to this session at the Festival of Innovation, which is all about accessibility and innovation. I've got some really exciting speakers today. You might recognise Kees Rijnen from Efteling, who spoke last year about Dance Macabre, and we've got Giacomo Bosso today joining him, who is from Vekoma Rides. So would you guys like to introduce yourselves a little more?
Of course, Giacomo.
I'm Giacomo Bosso with Vekoma since 15 years in the current capacity of product developer. So I'm supporting the company with new experiences, new products, and that's why I'm sitting with Kees here today.
My name is Kees Rijnen. I work as a strategist here in the Efteling in our beautiful World of Wonders. And in my role, I advise our board of directors on the long-term vision of the Efteling. And the main topic is sustainability, from environmental to social impact, including accessibility, diversity and inclusion, and governance. And I'm here for 6 years now already.
Fantastic, thank you so much. So I think we should start really at the start by explaining how these two wonderful companies have come to have such a relationship. So Giacomo, how long have Efteling and Vekoma been working together?
I think we started indeed at the beginning of the 80s. The first installation was quite a iconic ride, I would say, for the Netherlands, for Europe. It's called the Python, 1981. The first double loop, double corkscrew coaster, steel coaster in the European mainland. That was 1981. Then we moved quite some time later to mid-90s with Villa Volta, which is one of our first madhouses, which is a show ride of quite a large size, which plays tricks with your perception of space, I would say, still quite interesting to this date. And then we move to the Boggle Rock at the end of the 90s. So again, a steel coaster, so a thrill ride, family thrill ride, but this time indoor, and with the storytelling component attached to it, because we all know that the Efteling really cares about good stories. So another use of a steel coaster by Vekoma in a different storytelling-oriented context.
Thank you so much. And so how did accessibility become such a big part of the collaboration between the two of you?
Very good question. Therefore, we have to go back to the IAPA EMEA Sustainability Day in 2023 in Vienna. In that year, and even in previous editions at IAPA, you always heard that sustainability is the most important topic for the future of our industry. But it felt to me like everybody was waiting for another to take the first step. Mm-hmm. If it were the ride manufacturers or the operators, everybody was like, okay, it's important, but what's next? And we always meet with our friends of Vekoma at the show floor. And there I had an interesting talk with Anne Mart, CEO of Vekoma. And then we said, we're two strong Dutch brands. Let's not wait for another. Let's take matter in our own hands. And we decided there and then to make sustainability an important topic. And with two teams, one of Vekoma, one of the Efteling, with super enthusiastic colleagues, we started working on design principles, sustainable design principles, because we said, let's start at the very beginning. Let's see what is needed from a sustainable perspective, from designing a new ride or attraction to the end-of-life phase. And it was never a Vekoma Efteling thing. We always said, okay, we want to inspire the industry, so let's present it as our gift to the industry at the Sustainability Day next year. That was here at the Efteling in 2024. So there we presented the design principles, and we made a 3D model, the Twinkle Coaster. So, okay, if we take all these design principles into practice, how could a future, the ride of the future, how could it look like? And it was very well received during Sustainability Day.
And if I can attach to this, back in indeed during the first session about the design principles, we had this ambitious idea of extending accessibility also to more intense rides, to the extent that we could have a wheelchair on the Twinkle Coaster itself. At the time, we believed it was too ambitious, so we kept it a little bit quiet for the Twinkle Coaster announcement. But then the year later, we decided to focus more on one of the many sustainable design principles, in this case, accessibility, and we focused on creating ideas, new concepts for accessibility itself, and that's last year already.
Yeah.
So that's why we are sitting together here today, talking about the outcome of that workshop.
Oh, thank you. It's interesting to hear you talk about these principles, because I know, of course, Efteling has a whole set of goals for specifically accessibility at the park and across all of your attractions, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We take accessibility in our design process already in mind, with the use of experts and experts by experience. And we, with each and every new development, we try to set then the next step to make our park more accessible and inclusive.
Thank you. And so after IAPA, what came next then? You had these design principles, you'd had to think about the Twinkle Coaster. How did you build on that moving on?
Yeah, we decided to double down on this experience, on this workshop. So indeed, this year we sat down together again, I would say, with the same team, but reinforced this time around by experts and experts by experience, because we were designing around accessibility, and it was very important to keep the needs of the involved people in mind. And this was also the beautiful connection that we established with them, which shaped the product and helped us understanding the way forward. And that's what we did in this session. We understood that we were not going to solve a universal problem. We did not have a universal solution for everybody, but we wanted to focus on guests with mobility disabilities, and we wanted to stick to the initial goal of the Twinkle Coaster, which was offering the accessibility to the more intense rides. So we didn't really want to stick to a wheelchair and put it on a ride. We wanted to make sure that we were starting with something that was already ride compliant. And that's where the concept of ride seat on wheels was born. Basically, we took a device that as Vekoma, as a supplier, we already knew was accessible, meaning that if a guest with mobility disability could transfer to it, it was completely compliant to go through the more intense rides. And we wanted to make that device also capable to navigate the park on its own wheels. Yeah, so that's really the concept of a ride seat, ride compliant, not a wheelchair, capable to, with its own wheels, to navigate the park.
And so with that group that you pulled together from people with experiences, and did you say experts by experience, which I love, and making sure that you had engineers and product teams and everybody involved, what insights did you gain from those meetings?
A lot of different insights. It was really helpful. Like the first time we had the operator and the ride manufacturer perspective, and now the first-hand experience from the experts by experience, who have so many obstacles during their day visiting a theme park, which we really need to take into account to design products that are feasible for them. And it was from entering a retail shop, or how can I spend as much time together with my family or friends, and we don't have to go into two groups. It was very valuable for all of us.
I think the biggest takeaway, and also the important part of having our designers participating in these workshops, is that they get the first-hand information, and that there is so much valuable information we learned, starting from, for instance, the concept from a ride manufacturer perspective, that we are not only helping those with a disability, we are also helping the group of people visiting the park with them, because of course we always just look at the guest, but the guest comes with a family, comes with friends, and it's most likely their experience eventually will affect all the people who are joining the visit with them. So if you look at it, and that's also something that the Efteling really showed us, the percentage of people that you are impacting is much larger than the actual number of the single guest with the disability. So that's an important aspect.
Here at the Efteling, it's one out of 3 groups has somebody with a severe disability within their group of family or friends.
Wow.
And together as a group, they decide, okay, to which theme park or which attraction they go, because it needs to cater to all of them. And especially, they come here to have a great time together. So very valuable to us.
It seems. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, it seems I've been to many theme parks where you see the kind of fast track queue, and you see people in wheelchairs, and they're waiting for their friends at the end, or they're queuing separately to their friends. And it's, as you said, it's not an actually inclusive experience for the group.
Indeed. So indeed, we have a name for that. I think we learned it recently. It's called the fragmented accessibility. So in some other wordings, you will hear that guests with disability don't want to be treated any different. So that means being able to go through the same queue line, also to enjoy the pre-shows, which happened during the queue line, and not being shortcutted to the ride itself, where most of the times they are also limited in the choice of seating, because we have seats with transfer accessible provisions only in a certain location, which means that the same group of peers who would like to ride together or close by also need to make the decision, or are forced to make the decision to ride in a very specific location of the vehicle, most of the times at the back. So these are all new concepts for us, which make this subject even more complex, right? If you will, because that's an additional nuance, and those are all the things that we learned up until this moment, and there are for sure many more. The obvious ones being the challenge of transferring, right? That's always a painful moment for the guest with a disability, but also for the operators who are inevitably involved in the process. So all this information guided us towards a concept that tries to address these pains and move and take it from there.
Amazing. I guess everybody deserves to be in a really long queue and look at everything in detail, don't they? And wait for things. I think it's part of a really key part of experiencing the story of a ride, isn't it, really?
Yeah, you come here for the storytelling, and you come here to be immersed yourself as well. So and to spend your days together, you come here to, each and every guest here at the Efteling comes here to forget their daily struggles. And I think the Ride Seat on Wheels is a beautiful answer, a conceptual answer to that for our guests with a disability.
I agree. And so we've been skirting around it. So please talk us through Seat on Wheels, talk us through the concept.
All right. So
go for it.
We have this concept in here. We materialize it so we could have an easier conversation. Again, it's not a done deal. It's not a prototype. It's a concept to be evolved. Most likely, in the end, it will look different, but this sells the initial idea. So we started with the practicalities of it. We identified indeed the transfer as being a difficult moment for the guest and for the operators. So this transfer happens every single time the guest wants to ride a system, an attraction. So we said, what if we could take that pain away by having one single transfer at the beginning of the day at the entrance of the park? So we transfer from the personal wheelchair, which is also not necessarily a ride compliant system for the more intense rides. We transfer to this device, and we call it a magical device because we are at the Efteling. We want to give a magical experience. And then instead of transferring, we dock this system to every ride system. So the guest doesn't move from one seat to the other. The seat itself docks to the ride system. So from the guest, we take away the transfer. For the operators, we streamline or automate the docking so that it doesn't impact them emotionally or operationally. And this happens systematically throughout the ride portfolio of the park, which is another important aspect. This is beyond the ride supplier or the brand X or the park Y. This is a shared mission that we should all pick together beyond the boundaries of our own companies or our own businesses, right? So that's the important takeaway. We make this a special experience at the beginning of the day. The transfer happens at the entrance, but it's part of an experience. I want, and I would like to think that by doing so, we also give the opportunity to the guest to leave their disability behind for that day. So by transferring once to this magical device and leaving their wheelchair, which is a very delicate and sensitive belonging of them, at the entrance for the duration of their visit, they will leave also part of their disability behind. And that's also a more emotional content of this concept.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. And what sort of technology is this, this seat on wheels? What sort of technology is it using and leveraging that already exists?
Indeed. So the seat on wheel is based on what could be recognized as a Segway moving platform. Segway is still very much active with self-balancing moving platforms, which are then used in different applications, including wheelchairs, self-balancing wheelchairs. So that's where we based our concept. We took one of our seats, which will evolve in the context of this application. Again, this is a conversation starter, and we joined it to the wheels to make the mobility part happening. So 2 wheels, self-balancing, the technology is there. It's actually extremely interesting, extremely safe, extremely reliable. Battery pack for the duration of the day, and then we have the docking device to the ride system, which is where the ride technology and the operators technology come together. I would not expect to have a restraint system like a regular restraint system, but something much more comfortable for the guest, so that they don't have, of course, to ride through the park with a restraint system down, which is obviously not the intention. But of course, something more comfortable will be there, so that there's obviously the restrainment in place for whenever they ride the attraction.
Thank you. And how this is I know this isn't on the notes, so I hope this question's okay. But how could this be adapted? Because of course, this wheelchairs are so specialized for each individual person and their accessibility needs. Just as a kind of open question, what sort of adaptability will you be
That's indeed a very good question, because it's also one of the key learnings from the experts by experience during the workshops. I mentioned it before, the wheelchair is also a very personal belonging. There is a personal attachment to it. So this goes back to, I think, 2 ideas. The first one is there's only so much guests with mobility disabilities we will be able to help with this device. And the other part is the technicalities that we need to figure out in order to make this seat adaptable to the bodies of the guests. On the other end, I think by transferring once at the beginning of each day, at the entrance, we have enough time to adjust the seat to everybody. So that's also why I think the initial transfer at the beginning of the day will become a little bit longer experience, because on top of making it an experience, there are also some technicalities that needs to happen in order to make sure that it's completely safe.
I imagine as well with, if you've got a ride operator who's trying to control a ride and get everybody seated and also help somebody transfer, whereas in this situation, you've just got a dedicated person who can give the guest their full time and attention as well.
Correct. Yeah, a well-trained colleague who knows more in depth about several disabilities and really can help each and everyone with special needs to make the best out of the transfer.
Yeah. And I like I love the idea of it being an experience in itself to, really make that magical as you enter Efteling as well.
And this takes also away some guesswork, right? Because
Yeah.
every time an operator these days is faced with, I guess, with disabilities, there's always a moment of assessment whether the person is allowed to ride or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The moment he is transferred at the beginning of the day in a separate environment where all the checks are performed up front, the operator knows that if the guest is riding the seat on wheels, that then it is allowed
Yeah.
to ride the attraction.
Yeah.
And then obviously, hopefully, if we are good with the technicalities, that docking happens quite seamlessly. Also, from an operational perspective, minimizing the downtime due to transfers.
So in theory, you're almost this could potentially speed up the throughput of the rides as well, couldn't it? Really?
Let's say it should not slow it down, of course.
Yeah.
Let's
that.
be realistic.
Okay, cool. And so I know we were in Barcelona last year, weren't we, Kees, for the IAPA Sustainability Day where you presented this. And there were lots of people, and it was a bit of a brainstorming session, really. So what were the outcomes of that workshop?
Yeah, we first of all in the workshop that I did with Annemart Har and Joni from Vekoma and my colleague and manager Femke Flyer from the Efteling, we first of all presented facts and figures. Like Giacomo already said, one of the key learnings was that the group you cater to is much bigger than only the person of determination. What I think is a really beautiful term, or the experts, the guests with the disabilities. Because even if you look at Europe, 20% within Europe has a disabilities of some sort, and it's the largest minority group, growing minority group in the last years, especially due to aging. And then we presented the concept, and then we asked them in a more workshop to enhance and elaborate on the concept of the right seat on wheels, and it was very well received. And of course, we had great discussions with industry peers about important topics like evacuation and procedures and things like that. So a very good outcome. And of course, the main reason we did this workshop was also to invite others to join our mission, because this should be an industry thing to really make all our experience more inclusive.
Yeah, because it does affect everybody. Like you said, if 1 in 3 groups have somebody that's coming with a disability, that's 1 in 3 groups that maybe are choosing not to ride certain things or go to certain places. It's quite universal, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It should.
Yeah, absolutely. So then moving forward, then what's next for the concept? Because you've got a beautiful design and you know it so well. What comes next?
Talking from my perspective, and I think a shared perspective, I think we really need to be realistic about the percentage of people we are solving this issue for, or that we are helping. Is a concept like this helping 2% of the guests with mobility disabilities or 60%? So that's definitely an important answer to get. And the other aspect of it is, of course, the commercial viability. So we will evaluate the business case of this concept from a manufacturing perspective, from an operator's perspective, trying to basically make it as modular and as scalable as possible, so that we could get as many adopters as possible sooner. So we definitely need to assess the market size and the commercial side of this product, and maybe figure out new investment or funding opportunities for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people see this, and sustainability and accessibility, a lot of people see it as a really costly thing to do, don't they?
Indeed.
Yeah.
It is, but if we work together and join our forces, we can really, I think, lower the cost and really make impact for the whole industry.
Yeah.
And the idea is indeed to make it, I would say, scalable and modular, so that you might want to start with a few of these machines, let's call it like that. These machines would, at the beginning, interface to the less intense rides, where you don't need a docking system, for instance. Then the operator could assess whether it works, whether it's appreciated, and take it from there. If it's successful, then a couple more seats can be used. If it keeps being successful, then the first docking unit can be added, so that there would not be the need to invest upfront for the full-blown system with tens of units of a fleet. So keeping it like that, and obviously leveraging the mission-oriented parks who do have sustainability and social sustainability, accessibility as their core value, as the early adopters, steering in that direction. Also, the others will definitely help bringing the cost of the system down for those who cannot immediately jump in at the very early stages.
I'd be interested to know how many guests you might bring in that you wouldn't have brought in otherwise if you were known as being part of this. Well, there could be massive benefits as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those are also the very soft arguments which typically do not show up in your business cases, right? How many guests indeed are not coming to or not visiting a park because they don't feel accessibility is worthwhile.
If you now see that it could benefit also recurring visits from guests who now can enter one or two rides and then hopefully can enter much more and will visit the park more often, it will also benefit the business case.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to do all your rides at once, do you? I mean, it would be great if other manufacturers and other operators got on board, but even just altering some of them makes the experience better immediately, doesn't it?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. Although the ultimate goal is indeed to share the concept, not from a commercial perspective, but from a mission perspective, from a vision perspective, across the product portfolio of a park, right? So it would make more sense for the park as well to know that this system elaborated on by the different suppliers does fit all the rides in their portfolio, and then they have something they could definitely leverage as an accessibility tool.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, it's technically possible. It's not an out there idea that we don't know how to make happen. This is a real possibility, isn't it?
It is. From the many reactions we got after the press conference you guys gave, most of the people who reacted, who are in important companies, they don't see the technical challenge in this. They do see the commercial and business challenge. That's for sure. And that's what we should take care of. But from a technical perspective, that in particular the riding part of the wheel and the whole experience associated with the self-balancing and the safety associated with it, it's all there.
Absolutely. So then, if you're looking to businesses and to managers and these people that make these decisions, why should these inclusive designs happen? What are the benefits of this if it does cost a bit of investment or it does take some time? Because
in the end, inclusive design or design for all benefits each and every guest within your park, and it makes sure that we all say, it's about hospitality, it's about feeling welcome, appreciated, and about being seen, and that's what this is the answer to. And so I think it will benefit each and every one from all perspectives, from operator, manufacturer, and from each and every guest perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no, you don't want somebody coming to your park and feeling unwelcome and not having a good time, do you? Nobody wants that. So it really does benefit everybody.
Everybody wants the same immersive experience like each other guest within the park, and especially share those moments together with your loved ones, with your friends, with your families, and not be excluded because you have a disability.
Yeah, and you guys have done the hard bit. You've worked out the technology and you've made the concept and you've got it. So people watching, people at home, people around the world who are paying attention to this session, what do you need? What can we do? How do we make this happen?
We need much more people who believe in that we can make a change together, who believe in the concept, who want to elaborate on it, who want each and every insight is valuable for us. We need funding. in all kind of topics, we can use help to make this concept, this dream, become someday a reality.
Amazing.
In
And
what form?
people can reach out to you as well. Is it okay? We can share details, anyone that wants them. But yeah, I think this is really fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Kees and Giacomo. It's really appreciate your time, really appreciate you bringing the concept and talking to us about this. And thanks everybody for joining us. So we're going to be revealing the winners of the accessibility category in a second, and make sure you go and check out all the entries. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And now the winners of the Blue Loop Innovation Awards 2025 Accessibility category. Third place, Deferred Happiness from Hydrojo. Second place, Ferrari World Esports Arena from Mirror Destinations. First place, Nubart Sync from Nubart. Congratulations to all of the winners.